Just look at this. Silky caramel stretch. Pure magic. For a perfect caramel toffee, a heavy bottom pan is a must, so let's start with that. Then pour 2/3 cup of fresh cream into a small saucepan and set it aside. Turn the heat to low, then place the pan on the stove. Add 1 cup of sugar and gently shake the pan to spread it evenly. And don't forget, always use fine granulated sugar. From here, shake the pan every 30 seconds until more than 80% of the sugar melts. When you reach this stage, place the cream over low heat to warm it up. Now, stir the caramel once or twice. This will help the remaining sugar melt completely. Here's a quick tip. If sugar sticks to your spatula, scrape it back into the pan to melt. Do this, and your caramel will never crystallize. Be careful not to burn the sugar. It turns bitter really fast. When the sugar is fully melted and smooth, pour the hot cream over the caramel in 2 additions. Stir quickly so the sugar doesn't harden, and also watch your hands so the steam doesn't burn you. If this feels tricky, use gloves for extra safety. This caramel toffee is rich, chewy, and absolutely delicious. You can use it as a filling for cookies, pastries, or even inside different birthday cakes. In this video, we're using it to create a smooth, glossy coating for our cake, and it's going to be amazing. Add 1/2 cup of margarine to the caramel. Let it sit for a few seconds so it starts to melt. Now, stir it in. Until the mixture comes together beautifully, you'll see the texture turning glossy and smooth. That's exactly what we want. Finally, add 1/3 cup of sweetened condensed milk to the mixture and give it a good stir, letting all those flavors come together beautifully. Once it looks creamy and uniform, take it off the heat and let that aroma fill the air. Your caramel toffee is almost there. Just one last step to make it absolutely perfect. Strain the caramel through a fine sieve to catch any tiny bits. This step makes it extra smooth and silky. Cover the surface with plastic wrap, making sure it touches the caramel directly so no skin forms on top. Place it in the fridge and let it rest for at least 8 hours. Here it is, the best homemade caramel toffee you'll ever make. It's rich, chewy, and absolutely irresistible. Look at that stretch. Have you ever seen anything like this before? Let's finish this off and take it to the next level. Stay with me. We're about to create something amazing. And don't forget, make this recipe at home and let me know what you think in the comments. To start, we're making a fragrant brown butter. Place a bit over 1/2 cup of butter over medium heat and let it melt. Give the pan a gentle shake a couple of times while it melts. We only need about 1/3 cup of brown butter, so we start with more. It will reduce as it cooks. Once the butter melts, stir it a few more times until it turns a light brown color. Now, mix 3 tablespoons of hot water with 1 teaspoon of instant coffee and set it aside to cool down. Grab a large bowl and crack in 4 eggs. Then add 3/4 cup of sugar and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Beat for 5 minutes until the mixture turns pale and fluffy. This step gives the walnut cake a light and tender texture. Add 1/4 cup of oil to the mixture. Next, pour in the brown butter, about 1/3 cup we prepared earlier. Finally, add the coffee mixture. Quick tip, you can swap brown butter with melted butter. Beat for 30 seconds, and that's it. Up next is the dry ingredients. This is where the cake really starts to take shape. Add 1½ cups of flour and 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Sift the dry ingredients over the batter in 2 additions. After the first sift, whisk gently with a hand whisk. Repeat with the second half, sifting it evenly over the batter. Whisk again just until no dry flour remains. If you're enjoying this so far, make sure to subscribe and stay tuned for more recipes. There's so much more baking magic coming your way. Finally, add 3/4 cup of dried walnuts to the batter. Use a spatula to fold them in gently. Make sure the walnuts spread evenly throughout the batter. Be gentle, we don't want to lose that airy texture. Pour the batter into a 20cm cake pan and bake in a preheated oven at 175 degrees Celsius, 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Let it bake for about 45 minutes until fully cooked. Test the cake with a wooden skewer. If it comes out clean, it's ready. To moisten the cake, pour 2/3 cup of hot milk into a bowl. Add 3 tablespoons of sweetened condensed milk and mix well. Set it aside and let it cool down. Here comes the unboxing moment, the part I always look forward to, when the cake finally comes out of its shell. Take the cooled cake out of the pan, nice and slow, so it stays perfect. Peel off the parchment paper, let the cake breathe a little, and get ready for the next step. Now, slice off a thin layer from the top of the cake, just a touch, and set it aside. Now, slowly pour the milk mixture over the cake. Let it soak in gently, giving the cake that perfect moist texture. Pipe the caramel toffee over the cake using a piping bag. If added too quickly, it will pull crumbs from the cake and ruin the finish. Don't pour it all at once, it needs to go on gradually. To smooth the caramel, warm the offset spatula slightly and run it over the surface. Make sure it's not too hot, or the caramel will start to melt. Pipe the caramel along the sides of the cake first, then smooth it out with the warmed offset spatula. Now, place the cake in the freezer for 30 minutes. Meanwhile, coat the walnut halves with a bit of brown butter. This makes them glossy and adds extra flavor. By the way, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. Time for the final touch. Let's decorate this beauty. Cut the cake into 8 equal slices. To do this, warm the knife slightly before cutting. If the caramel looks a bit uneven, don't worry. Once sliced, it won't even be noticeable. We're almost there. Just one final touch to go. Decorate the bottom edge of the cake with chopped walnuts, pressing them in gently. On top, arrange the walnut halves neatly for a beautiful finish. Take a moment to enjoy this creation. You've turned simple ingredients into something truly special. Finally, sprinkle a touch of flaky sea salt over the top. Share it with someone you love, because desserts are always sweeter when shared.